Who were you in Marjah with?
1-6
1-6. What company?
Alpha.
Okay. Okay. Yeah,
Did
man.
you ever seen that Gunny Walgren John Glenn speech?
Dude, that speech right there was like when that came out, when I saw that the first time, especially when they put it with the music. There's like the regular version of him just giving the speech, and then there's the music one that I think a combat camera someone put together. When that came out, I was like, dude, they need to show this to every dude before they get out. I'm like, that is about the most motivating thing I've ever fucking heard.
Yep. And that's how that guy, Brian Walgreen, our company
Mm-hmm.
Guns, that's how he was all the time.
Yeah.
Uh, like I've never seen a gunny with that much loyalty in a unit. Uh,
If people haven't heard that, you got to look it up on YouTube or something. It's like just look up Gunny Marjah speech or something like that, and it'll come up.
Gunny Walgren, John Glenn speech,
John Glenn
and
speech.
it was one of my guys that recorded it.
Who the fuck
Um,
knows who John Glenn is?
well, he gets out there and talks, and I told one of my team leaders, I was like, "Hey, Gonzo, get your camera out, start recording because this is going to be hilarious." Because I mean, last time he pulled us out in a formation like that, he's talking mad shit on everybody above him kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So and he was just great to listen to. We figured it'd be hilarious, but we weren't anticipating that. That was just epicness.
That's one of those things now that's like forever in Marine Corps lore, you know? It's like the EAS
Mm-hmm.
song. You know,
Yeah,
Marines throughout time will
exactly.
hear that and be like, oh, yeah, okay. I've heard that or I've seen it, you know? It may not be as popular as it was when it first came out, but it always comes up at some point in somebody's career. You know,
Yep.
you hear that EAS song, or you hear the John Glenn speech or something like that. I think that's super cool,
Yep.
man. What was your feelings going into Marjah? Was it kind of like when you were getting ready to go into Garmshire? Was it like, oh, this is going
The
to be kind
way
of like that, or did you think it was going to be like worse?
it was, it was weird. Like we knew going in that we were going to hit Marja,
Mm-hmm.
like right when we started that deployment, and when we first hit, I think they put us in Dwyer before we flew in there. But while we were at Dwyer, we actually did feints down south. Uh, you were 10th Reg, right?
Mm-hmm. Down to
Did you know
Fiddler's
where?
Green.
Yeah,
Yep.
uh, we would actually. It was pretty brilliant the way the battalion did it, because prior to doing the actual hit on Marja, they would send companies up to Fiddler's Green kind of area, and they would get them exposed to being in a firefight. So even your brand new boots are getting that experience. And at the same time, that's concentrating the Mujah's eyes down south.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thinking, that's where we're going to come from Fiddler's Green. So it's basically a feint. But the first couple days we were down there, I got in the worst firefight in my life up to that point.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time we're done, finish up, do the post patrol, 360. Hey guys, did a great job. Expect this the rest of the deployment. You know, no big deal. They go away. You walk into the squad leader's hut. You just drop from adrenaline. Guys, we're gonna fucking die.
Yeah, dude. Fiddler's Green. So for those that don't know, Fiddler's Green is in the southeastern corner of Marjah. It's outside of kind of Marjah proper, more out in the countryside of it, but it's in the southeastern portion. And that was the fire base that 10th Marines established to provide fire support throughout Marjah and stuff like that during the invasion. And then post the invasion, when I was there in 2011, they were providing fire support for us as well. Did you guys? It's funny because a lot of the artillery guys would talk shit. They're like, "We were the first ones into Marjah. We were the first ones in. We established Fiddler's Green. That's us." And talk to. So it's funny how you guys would rotate dudes down to the artillery position to get into firefights, because it's normally the other way around. Artillery is
Yeah,
not supposed to be near where the fighting, like directly where the fighting's going on. They're supposed to be offset a little bit.
right. And we didn't have to walk far. I want to say, like my second day, we might have patrolled like a mile, and by the end of that, that was easily 4 or 5 hour firefight. We
Damn.
actually got support air from a flight of Cobras. I smoked 4 dudes with one AT4 round. My entire squad was damn near black on ammo. Like it, and that was my first patrol with my guys to that point.
I bet your new dudes were like, "What the fuck is this?
Exactly.
What are we doing?"
Yeah, and I'm trying to play it off like it's no big deal since I'm, dad to the squad. It's like this is fucking
Like, it's fine,
insane.
guys. Look, we're all good. Wasn't that cool? Let's eat and take a nap. Fuck. Yeah, that's crazy. When you guys were down at Fiddler's Green, did you take the opportunity to pull any lanyards? Did you get to shoot the 777s at all?
I didn't. Some of
Nah.
the guys did.
Yeah. I know my buddy Wasson was there. He was a mechanic or something. And they were like, hey, man, if you want to pull the lanyard, like, just if you're around when there's a fire mission going on, we'll let someone, get out of the way and let us do our thing. And we'll just tell you, get ready to fucking do it. Boom.
Yeah,
That'd be
you just
pretty
gotta
cool.
say it really loud.
Yeah, for sure, man. So what else happened during that invasion for you? Didn't you? I think I read you hit an IED or something like that, or was it something else?
Well, that was near the very end. That was actually like when we were getting left seat, right
Mm,
seat,
okay,
changeover
okay.
with U6. Uh, no, that was an intense assault. Uh, you know how you always get those 5 paragraph orders or the op order or whatever, and they tell you, the bad guys can resupply from the north with 300 guys at the drop of a hat. And you're like, okay, whatever. These guys ain't got 300 dudes in this entire region. And in reality, like we're going in on the night assault, and I'm seeing like anti-air fire like pop it up at the Ospreys. I'm like, oh, okay, this is a whole different ball game.
Hmm. Yeah, they had some light anti-air, the ZPUs, the
Mm-hmm.
Dishkas, and stuff like that. They would try to shoot down rotary wing and stuff. Yeah,
Yep,
man. That's my buddy Matt Ketting was there. He was with I think Third Marines. They're the ones out of Hawaii, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, he was there with Third Marines. He said their machine gunners brought in a 50 cals. They hand carried 50 cals on fucking patrol and stuff for that. I was like, I know, right? I was like, damn, dude, that had to have been tough. But I mean, imagine being the Taliban. You see a foot patrol, and all of a sudden a fucking 50 cal opens up on you. You think
Yeah.
that it's just a regular old patrol, and these dudes set up a 50 and start throwing down lead.
Oh yeah, like guys were uh, going with mortars. They were doing hand loads, all that kind of or what do you call that?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even remember what you call it
I know,
anymore.
charge one, yeah, where you're. I think I know what you're talking about, where they're shooting the 60s by hand. Yeah, it's hand
Yeah,
load.
yeah.
It's hand load.
But yeah, these guys are just we go on a patrol with them.
Yeah,
They'd be dumping rounds.
I knew.
Um,
I knew a few guys that were there with 3.6 during Marjah, and they were like, "Man, we were told, hey, take an assault pack with enough stuff for 3 days, and then your gear." Bring your rucks, but we're gonna bring those in after 3 days. And they're like, bro, we didn't see those rucks for fucking 30 days. Like
yep.
they're like, we were all curled up together. Like the few dudes had like sleeping systems and stuff like that, or not, maybe not few,
Mm-hmm.
but the gear was pretty thin because everybody thought, hey, just bring enough food, water, ammo for 3 days, and then you'll get all your shit to like
Yeah,
extend.
guys are like breaking thatch roofs to burn just so you can stay warm.
Okay, so you guys had a similar kind of situation.
Yeah, because we hit it in February 18th, I believe, was the day we went in.
Yeah. Yeah, man. How long was the fighting, do you think? Before like, okay, we've got it now. We're like settled in a little bit here.
Nearly constant, like damn near until we left.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, that was an intense one. Except it wasn't like Garmser where we didn't have to worry about the civilian population as much. Civilians were everywhere in Marjah, even during
Mm,
like the hugely kinetic phase.
yeah. Yeah, that's obviously its own issue. I mean, that sucks too. I can't imagine. It sucks for the families that are caught in between. They're just like, dude, we're just trying to
Oh
live,
yeah.
man. We're just trying to
Yep.
live. And they're in the middle of a fucking firefight between us and the Taliban or whatever.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, one of our big issues out there though was once once McChrystal took over, uh, General McChrystal, his ROEs were a little bit more strict.
Hmm.
Uh, needlessly so. And I'm a firm believer that he's probably killed more Marines than any Mooj could ever dream of with his ROEs.
There's
Uh,
there's it sucks because there's a fine line, right, between the rules of engagement of
mhm,
where we can allow military members to operate freely and do the job and take care of what they need to do, but you also have to obviously protect the civilian populace and stuff like that.
yeah.
And I mean, I've been on the bad end of not getting an approval, because of ROEs or whatever, while being pinned down or something like that. And I know it fucking, that shit is, I don't know, it makes you mad. So I can understand your frustration. Because
Oh,
I
yeah.
was also frustrated with, I think it was 2/7's battalion commander. Like, what the fuck, dude? We're out here trying to do our thing. And shit that's not even like, people took the ROE, the good intentions of like, hey, you can't hit a compound unless you know it's just enemy inside of that compound. Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, I mean, I get that, I guess. And unless they're firing at you and you're like taking casualties, obviously that's a different situation. But if it's just a compound and nothing's happening, you can't just go and blow up a compound. Makes completely sense. Or if you see, like, we would have HVTs, the high value targets, move around. If they go into a compound, then we got to reconfirm that that's still the same person. There's nobody else in the compound.
Mhm.
If we're going to blow that dude up, if it's like someone that we need to take out. But then it was like, oh, this dude walked underneath a tarp. Now we don't know who. We got to reconfirm. He was technically in a compound. Hey, we can't blow up that tarp with only one dude. We've been watching it. There's only one dude underneath it, but there could be someone else inside the compound. It's considered a compound. And when lawyers came in and started lawyering it up and like, hey, well, this can be argued that this is a compound, or we had guys that were in blown up buildings that were with weapons and placing IEDs, and we couldn't strike it because it was a compound that could be a civilian compound. It's like, dude, there's no roof. There's no roof, and they have
Mhm.
RPGs stacked against the wall. We could see it in the feed from the aircraft. But nope,
Yep.
and it's like, what that's gets a little ridiculous.
And that's the thing too, because like if it's coming from the battalion commander, yeah, that sucks. But that's something at least just the guys on the ground are going to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
But with like McChrystal's ROE 426, and I can't remember what the other one was, he had aircraft terrified to fire.
Mm-hmm.
Like I called a Casevac from one of my team leaders after he took a round in the leg, and I told the guy straight up, "Hey, this is a Type 2 control, qualified observer, all this kind of stuff. I can see the gunman. Yeah, but we can't see him, so we're not cleared. No, I see the shooter. This is a Type 2 control. Yeah, but we can't see him, so we're just going to hold off." Our air officer got on the hook, created some bullshit scenario for the air to get out of the way so Pedro can come in and actually like handle business.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane.
That is crazy. That is because usually aircraft will still. So when you do controls, for those that don't know, like when you're like telling an aircraft they can fire, you're giving that approval. You have to like give the ROE that you're giving them the approval under. Also, you have to be like, this is an approval under ROE, blah 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 blah. You're cleared hot, target, whatever. And yeah, man, it's a lot of the helo guys that I worked with were like, hey, as soon as a round seems like it's coming towards us, we're declaring self defense, and we'll just start shooting what we
Yeah.
think is a danger to us. And you'd see Hueys or Cobras, what they would call trolling for fire, where they'd come in real low and slow and just kind of go real slow with the Huey, and you'd have a Cobra behind them up high or something, ready just to fucking
Yep.
whack anybody that takes a shot at the Huey. So the Huey's out there for a little bit of bait for someone to shoot at, which is crazy on its own. But
That's the thing too. The problem was never with like the Marine aircraft. It was always with your purple aircraft
Purple
and
air.
all that kind of stuff.
Purple, yeah. For
Yeah.
those that don't know what we're talking about when we say purple air, those are non-marine assets. Those are or there's like foreign air. You got like a French Mirage pilot coming in. Those dudes aren't dropping shit. Because every country has their own ROEs too.
Yep.
If you had a French guy, those dudes weren't dropping anything unless you had multiple people dead, and even then, I don't know if they would. The British aircraft would drop, but Yeah, the British aircraft were pretty good. They would drop, but you have to have a pretty good. Again, their ROEs were stricter than ours. Marine aircraft weren't like, it's not like they were being abusive to the ROEs or anything. They were doing what they were supposed to do, but they weren't afraid to come in and help you out. Like if you're getting
Oh
shot
yeah.
at, they're going to come in and fucking, because that's what they live for. The combat
Oh yeah.
pilots in the Marine Corps, the skid guys, the fucking F-18 guys, the Harrier guys, that's what they live for.
Oh, without a doubt. And the best part is like they've trained exclusively for CAS. So,
Yeah.
they definitely know how to do it right.